My name is Arun Kumar and I am the driver, and you're watching Driven Diary episode 76. Driven Diary is the documentation of my life as I build a billion-dollar automotive service business called Driven Auto Co. Driven Auto Co. is currently made up of two companies. First, we have the consulting business, Driven Performance Advisors, which I founded in 2018. This company currently functions to finance the growth of Driven Auto Care, the second company. Driven Auto Care is what we will build into a billion-dollar automotive service business by transforming the way that the independent automotive service business is perceived, taking it from an unethical, dirty, unprofessional business to something that looks like what the dealership you expect to be. Now, Driven Diary exists because I believe that entrepreneurs need a yardstick. I feel sometimes like I'm flying blind on the path to what I believe is a strong level of business success, and I'm trying to document in pretty significant detail what goes on a day-to-day level. Now, I admit, these videos aren't always the most interesting thing in the world. Sometimes they're kind of short, sometimes they're a little confusing if you don't have any context, as you're about to see. I am in South Dakota at the beginning of this upcoming video, brushing snow off of a rented Mercedes. So like I said, it's the documentation of my life. And I love South Dakota. I want to buy shops in South Dakota. And that's part of what I'm doing there. I want to spend time there in my personal life, and so I'm going to fit the business around that. Separately, you're going to see documentation of a couple of big repairs we have going down in the Fremont shop here where I'm currently sitting. And lastly, you're going to get to hear me talk sadly about my truck, which I've had for about 3 years and I've decided to sell. And I did my last drive with it this weekend. So, with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Let's get to the video. Good morning and welcome to 6 degrees in Rapid City, South Dakota. It's snowing and I have to drive an hour in my Turo rental here. Let's see if I can get the doors unlocked. Okay, good start. Doors unlocked, snow in the car. I'm going to the Lawrence County Treasurer's office to register my Passat W8 wagon. Oh, good, the snow falls right off. Look at that, look at that. Oh, wonderful. Let's see if I can do that with the trunk. Probably not, because it's power. But I can probably grab this and get myself out of here. My hands are most certainly getting very cold as I do this. Just in case you were wondering, you didn't watch last week's video. It's nice when it's so dry and yet also snowing. Ugh. Anyways, I'm gonna go register this Passat and got some consulting work to do this morning. And I'm very happy to say that I spent some time clarifying goals this morning. I'm not gonna share those goals, but what I will say is I have a big list for this year that I'm very excited to work on. And being here in this very quiet, very cold environment is what has enabled me to have the clarity to write up those goals. So sometimes you need to take the time to sit in isolation and quiet and reflection to arrive at certain conclusions that will dramatically benefit your life. with that, I'm going to sit in this snowy seat I've just created for myself and take the hour-and-a-half drive to Deadwood, South Dakota. In my new apartment here, time to get to work. Turns out all right, I gotta update the people. Hello, I'm sorry I have not filmed very much the last 2 days. I flew home from South Dakota Tuesday morning. I got home about 1:30, went straight into family life. On Wednesday, I worked my normal shift and had a frustrating kind of return to normalcy, I guess you could say. The realities of parenthood continue to be a balance where I've got plenty to do all the time, and yet I end up spending quite a lot of time simply watching a baby and making sure he survives and making sure he is not seeing me as a bad role model, that he is comfortable, that he is fed. And I'm starting to develop more of a satisfaction around seeing at least the development. Just went over some railroad tracks, that's why it was so bumpy. I'm getting more satisfaction in that. He had his 2-month checkup yesterday. My son has grown 5 inches in 2 months. Babies are supposed to grow an inch a month. I am very tall, in case you didn't know. I'm 6'8", take a lot of pride being big. And he's getting big, let me tell you. So that's fun. What else do I have to talk about? My marketing company. No, actually, let me fill you in on some of these cars you just saw clips of. I bought that Passat wagon. It doesn't need a full timing chain rebuild. It needed a couple of repairs that have now been completed, which is great. I will be swapping out for my black Passat, which has now been lowered but is too low. Rubs quite a lot on the fenders. So I got to raise up the front a little bit. Raise up the front, and check engine light came on this morning, which is not good. So I will trade it out, start dailying the wagon a little bit, which will be fun. Then you saw this crazy Silverado diesel job. We have this Duramax 06 Silverado 2500. It's a 38-hour head gasket job. And we finally got the heads off yesterday. We've had that car in the shop since December, unfortunately. It is a monstrous job. Hopefully we can get it done fairly quickly. What else do I have to talk about? I'm off to my consulting client today, closing books. Been doing a lot of accounting this week as well, a lot of Excel modeling. So I think that's about all that's going on. That's about all I got to tell the people about. Shops have been relatively busy, picked up second half of the week, which is great. New shop is 2 weeks away. Very exciting stuff. That's going to be all for now. Saturday afternoon. It is 15th of February. And I bought this truck on Valentine's Day, 2022. 3 years, 40,000, almost exactly 40,000 miles. This thing's been a great friend to me. In a week from now, Andy will be coming and picking it up. He's already spoken for it, bought it. Andy's a dealer who is a friend of mine, lives in Kansas, and he is willing to pay up for a clean, higher mileage 4x4 F-250 diesel. So I'm sure it will go to a great home, as my last one did that he bought. I have a lot of incredible memories with this truck, but I have no use for it.
so it's time for it to go. I've built it into what I believe is a pretty excellent tow rig, and I will most certainly miss it.
That's it for Driven Diary episode 76. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like so we can show up higher in the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback about the episode. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's Driven Diary episode. Until next week, I hope you can go out and continue to build your own automotive dreams and stay driven.